what are the most common mistakes you see from inventors who want to get their games published?
Okay. It's difficult for me to answer this question well, because I'm not really in a position to say exactly what other publishers are thinking, because I've never gone to a publisher with a game. But I have picked up or made some really good friends through the process. And I've met people who are trying to get the games published, and it seems like a really unforgiving environment. It's really competitive, and there are a lot of publishers out there who they're looking for something very, very specific. So I've heard from some friends who have told me, the game is great, but it doesn't quite fit what we're looking to do here, and it doesn't quite fit what we're looking to do there. And I can see that they're a bit damaged from it. They're heartbroken, as you would be, because they've put an enormous amount of work in this, and it's easy to become disheartened. And so I suppose I've played some of these games, and they're really good. Like, I genuinely think they're fantastic. And so I suppose my advice would be, if you believe in what you're doing, don't give up, because there are loads of stories of people who have persevered, having been told again and again and again that they're not going, no one's interested, who have gone on to be hugely successful. So yeah, I would say if you believe in what you're doing, keep going with it. It would be my advice.
I think it really depends on whether we're looking at utilizing a publishing house and designing a game and taking it to a publishing house, or self-publishing, because there's definitely a bit of a blur there that people often miss. I definitely would echo what you're saying, Kris. I think that compromise is a thing that we very rarely discuss with any creative product. And I think compromise is something where you need to be uncompromising with your vision, but you need to be compromising with where it's going to go, and accept that it will have a life of its own that you don't necessarily control for the whole journey. And I think for me, a lot of the mistakes that I see are designers who aren't willing to do the research and properly look at what is viable, and people who aren't necessarily understanding where they should be compromising and where they should be holding for their integrity. I think that's a really important thing. I think I would also really repeat that communication is one of the most important things. Tabletop gaming is all about communication, whether that's on a table with your best friends sat across you, or whether that's somebody in the industry who is going to be providing your manufacturing. You need to be communicating with people all the time, and you need to be talking about games and your passion all the time. And how you talk about that is really, really important. I think that is one of the things that gets people across that line to get their game published, rather than necessarily raw ideas. There's a reason that we talk about IP being stolen. Like, people on Facebook groups often say, oh, should I be protecting and copyrighting all my content? And the advice is, no, put it out, get people talking about it, go and talk about it, because nobody is going to cross the line with that game and get it published, because it takes too much work. It takes so much work that it's unlikely that you will finish your idea. So there's no way it's going to be stolen. And if it is stolen, then you got incredibly unlucky. So yeah, you talk about your thing that you're passionate about, and you follow that as hard as you can.
And the only thing I'd add to that is playtest, 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 because that will tell you, do you need to go through another loop of that iterative design process? And it will also reassure you that, yes, this game is fun, enjoyable, it's worth spending the time and energy on based on that feedback you get.